feel about that? Like, we're a podcast. Like, if somebody threw us a deal or a bone at some point, like that would piss me off if it was me. How do you feel about
if you're Spotify, or what would piss you off?
The fact that they treating them like they don't have families. Like, it's like, just you got to rock and rock that part.
Well,
how do you feel about what Joe said?
I agree with Joe 100%.
Okay.
You kind of have to go back in time to when this all was going down, right? This was a 2-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, Spotify just signed what's her name, Amy Schumer.
Yes.
To this big deal. She was supposed to be this big thing, the new thing. The new thing in podcasting was supposed to be Amy Schumer, and she hadn't even done any podcasts. What happened was she didn't really pop off, but the Joe Budden podcast did and became the biggest podcast. Not only on the platform but just in general. So,
it's Joe Rogan.
I mean, Joe Rogan's like the alien.
Bag.
He's an alien. He don't count. Like, he's the exception to the rule.
Joe got a bag.
So, but the thing with the Joe Budden podcast is, they're seeing other people get signed to major deals and bigger deals and all this other stuff. And one thing Joe has been big on was ownership of the brand and everything. And so even after all this, Spotify has given them an 8-figure offer, but what Joe's saying is essentially that offer is not it doesn't fit with where they are right now, and and they want to take complete ownership of pretty much everything that they're doing, hiding stats, doing all the things. I mean, the hiding stats thing is pretty kind of, I don't want to say it's standard.
That's nasty. It's just nasty, but it's standard.
But it's one of those things. Like, the cool thing, the one thing that Joe did do well is that he, they own everything. That's why the podcast that came out when he was essentially like clowning Spotify had to come out, because that's in the contract. So Spotify,
they couldn't edit it. They
couldn't edit it. It came out as raw as it was supposed to be, and he addressed everything. And so the Joe Budden podcast is in a great position right now because they have complete ownership. They have great viewership. They can go completely by themselves. They don't need Spotify at all. And so it's really on Spotify to make it better, but it doesn't even look like it matters anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I've been paying attention to it because it's relevant. Obviously, we're a hip hop podcast; they're a hip hop podcast. Yep. So, but yeah, it's Spotify. It's big business. Like CID in the chat, it was like a 360 deal, kind of. Good for them for addressing it and doing it for the culture. So,
what you think, Jay Diff? What's your take on their gripe and everything that they're saying so far in terms of Joe Budden and how the rest of the guys feel?
I agree with what Lone said as far as them having the ownership to be able to maneuver however they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't need Spotify. And also it's coming on the heels of Spotify actually giving Joe Rogan a huge signing deal. And that may have something to do with why Joe Budden and Kaz feel the way they do about how they're being treated, and are set to pretty much exercise their exit essentially from that platform because they don't really need it.
Well, even besides the Joe Rogan one, they signed big deals to other people like Bill Simmons and Van Jones, I think. Maybe it was the same show. I don't know.
Van Lathan.
Van Lathan.
Van Lathan got a band.
He signed under Bill Simmons apparently.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah. So it was like even like, it's like the Scottie Pippen deal. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh my God.
You know how like Scottie was playing for way under. I mean, probably not as drastic, but and they've lost a lot.
Like, I need that money now.
And they've lost a lot of money because they couldn't tour. Because of COVID and everything. And so,
yeah,
he actually got into it back and forth with Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club when he was talking about, he kept trying to tell Charlemagne, like, I own this, like, this is my name and this is my brand. So you damn right, I'm going to be upset about how they treat us here. And we know that we're bringing in the numbers. And Charlemagne was trying to play him like, Joe, well, you just bad negotiations and it's just you're the reason. It's like, nah, like Joe's thinking long term. He's thinking different. Like he knows his value and he knows what he brings to Spotify. So I'm with him and the rest of those guys in terms of not being bullshitted. Like I'm with that. Like they should be on a platform where they should be featured.
Charlamagne is a master troll.
100%.
And that's going to get his ratings up, regardless if he agrees with him or not. He's going to kind of take a side eye view on it just to get people to listen to it.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure to join our live show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/bringingdowntheband and join our private Discord community with talks on hip hop, music, news, and everything else. Links in the description below.